Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello, everyone. I'm Kiris. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, July 23rd through Saturday, July 29th, 2023. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. Now, as you probably already know, Venus is retrograde now in the sign of Leo. Venus, the planet of love, relationships, and passion, is going to be retrograde in Leo until September 3rd, 2023. Now, when the planet of love goes retrograde, this is not the time to make a forever, final, life-changing decision like getting married or getting divorced or going back to that ex that you know isn't good for you. The relationship was horrible in the first place, so why would you want to go back? Don't. Never look back. Venus in Leo is retrograde until September 3rd. Now, Venus in Leo is hot. It's romantic. It's passionate. It's Leo. Leo is expression. It rules the heart. It's so easy to just get swept away in the romance, the drama, the hotness of Venus in Leo. But we're looking at Venus in Leo retrograde. So before you run off to that Las Vegas marriage drive-through window, stop, take a second look, and don't go there, basically. If you meet someone that you like during the Venus retrograde, because a retrograde is a return, so you may be feeling like you're returning karmically to a past life soulmate or something like that, then during the retrograde, just slow it down. Take your time. Again, don't rush off and do something foolish where you perhaps have buyer's remorse later on after Venus moves direct. So have the romance, have the wonderful, beautiful summertime fun and playfulness, because Venus in Leo is also very playful. It's feeling like a kid again, where you're just open and you feel like your heart is open and vulnerable to that love and romance. So enjoy. It doesn't mean don't enjoy the summer in the month of August with Venus retrograde in Leo. Just don't run off and make that final decision, because just like the Mercury retrograde, when we have the Mercury retrogrades about 3 times a year, we don't sign the contract without taking a second and third look. We slow it down. We go over something. We rethink, research something before we make the final decision with a Mercury retrograde. Now, the Venus retrograde doesn't happen as often as the Mercury retrogrades. Happens about once every 18 months-ish. We'll get a Venus retrograde. It just means slow down, take a second and third look. And again, when it comes to the exes that will want to return, you will be hearing from at least one ex that wants to come back into your life. Just never look back. Don't look back. Don't go there. Also, we have the sun now in the sign of Leo. So when the sun is in its home domicile sign of Leo, the sun in Leo, the Leo is in his castle now, which means that the sun in Leo is the strongest, most powerful position for the sun, where the sun has all of the resources necessary for creativity, for expression, for confidence, for putting it all out there very boldly and fiery, for bringing things into the light, into illumination, because fire is light. It's when we can see something very clearly. And during the summertime season of life, the summertime season of life is when we have the energy and the light, and we're at our best to achieve something, accomplish a goal, and along with that, to enjoy the vibrancy of life with the sun in Leo in his castle. Now, the sun in Leo is about your dignity, your sense of self-worth, knowing how valuable you are, and to shine that light like the sun at its strongest in the sign of Leo. So thank you for shining your light in this world. Everyone is born a baby star, a little star, and you're here to shine your light, whatever that means for you. And this is the sun in all of its glory, its majesty, when the sun is in Leo. Sunday, July 23rd, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing retrograde in the sign of Aries. Now, Chiron, the wounded healer, is where we have had our greatest woundedness, but also where potentially our greatest healing comes from. This Chiron retrograde is in the sign of Aries. And what is Aries? Aries relates to the beginning, the newborn baby. What you see is what you get. Aries as the first sign of the zodiac and connected to that newborn baby stage of life is just totally unpretentious. Aries wants to be loved. Aries, you will see and know what a baby wants and needs. They let us know very loudly about what they want and need, and basically what they want is love. So when you are born, the newborn baby Aries and Chiron in Aries, before you're socialized and conditioned, before you're brainwashed in life, babies, they're not ashamed of themselves. They're not ashamed of their needs. They're not ashamed of their bodies. So this Chiron stationing retrograde in Aries has a lot to do with not only not being afraid to ask and get what it is that you need, because Aries is very brave. Again, the newborn baby hasn't learned fear yet until we teach them that. So one of the things with this Chiron retrograde in Aries that is about healing is to be connected to what it is that you truly want and need. Also, a lot of the healing in this Chiron in Aries is the healing that comes from being comfortable and loving the perfect, beautiful body that you were born into. Everybody has their own beauty. Everybody is beautiful in their own way. And babies, again, Aries, the newborn baby, is connected to their body. Again, there is no garbage up in their head, no judgment up in their head about their own body, their perfect little bodies that they came into the world with. Now, yesterday I was just with a client that's into Hawaiian Huna healing, and she wanted to know about how this Chiron in Aries and the nodes that have now changed into North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. She wanted to know how this related to her in her chart. Chiron retrograde in Aries and the nodes changing into North Node in Aries is the healing, the greatest woundedness. This is Chiron, but also the greatest healing when you see and fall in love with your beauty, your body, where you just let it all express and know that as Aries, which is I am, and to know that there is only one you in the whole history of the world before you and the whole future of the world after you. There can only be one unique you. Aries says I am. And so knowing that whatever you may have felt ashamed about when it comes to your looks, your body, Aries, your identity, your sense of I am, this Chiron retrograde in Aries is healing that sense of knowing that comparing to others, comparing to a cookie cutter standard is not the way to go, obviously. When you get connected to your own uniqueness and celebrate that and let it shine like the sun now in the sign of Leo, and let it shine very boldly and bravely like the sign of Aries, then that is a big part of where this healing comes from. It's about loving yourself and being in touch with that like the newborn baby. And one of the things you can do with this Chiron retrograde in Aries is go through the inventory of how, where, and why you are ashamed about how you look, and of course let it go, release that, and know that that is a lie. It's not the truth, whatever you were told about yourself. One time I had a beautiful young lady, 21 years old, and she came in for a reading, and I suggested a dance class, and she said, I can't take a dance class, I can't look in the mirror. My mom always told me that I was fat, and so I can't even look in the mirror. All I'm seeing is this gorgeous young lady, and that nonsense, that lie, that garbage, that trash needed to get out of her consciousness and out of her belief system, of course, because none of it was true. She's just a beautiful young girl that wanted to dance. So an example like that, and however it applies to you with your sense of self and beauty and your connection to your body, the physical body. The sign of Cancer, which I mentioned last week, has a lot to do with the emotional body we live in, and the Aries is the physical, just that physical Mars force of the physical body that you were blessed with. It all connects together, of course, the emotional body, the physical body, and so forth. But this is our beautiful Chiron retrograde in Aries as we're starting off the week on July 23rd. Now we're also starting off the week with the moon entering the sign of Libra, which is ruled by Venus. And Venus, of course, is retrograde that we just chatted about. Libra is so romantic, and the moon is what we need. And with the moon in Libra, the need is for people, relationships, to be social, friends, romance, just people across the board. So starting off the week with this moon in Libra, have people and social things, especially during the summertime, in your life, because the moon is what we need. We're hungry for it. We want to acquire it. And the moon in Libra is that beauty, and the beauty of relationships where we support each other and encourage each other, and finding our family, let's say, of people where we are creating Venus and Libra, where we are creating beauty and harmony. Moon in Libra wants peace, harmony, doesn't really like to get in there and battle so much or compete. It more wants peace. Now, Monday, we still have the moon in Libra, air, cardinal air, making a lovely sextile aspect of opportunity to Mercury in Leo. So when we blend air and fire, this is a very lively, exciting blending of elements. It's very lively conversation about the future, about things that you're going to do and create, projects. It's all about moving into the future with a lot of excitement, and let's take the action as well, because air and fire, moon in Libra, air, making that sextile 60-degree angle to Mercury in Leo, which is fire. This is the expression and the sharing of big ideas. We're looking at Leo. What's the big picture? Tuesday, July 25th, we have the second quarter moon at 2 degrees Scorpio. Now, the second quarter moon is when we cross over from second quarter to full moon. And this is in Scorpio, which is intense and emotional and very passionate. So as we move into second quarter to full moon, and the moon is increasing in light and power and energy, this second quarter at 2 degrees Scorpio, which is fixed water, this is the releasing of the emotional imprints, the baggage, the emotional baggage that perhaps you have been carrying your whole life without realizing that that emotional imprint, that negative emotion, was never yours to begin with, and it's about releasing it. Now, the moon is the caretaker, Luna, the nurturing mom. And so when the moon is in her fall, in the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, the number one thing with this, your power, is you have the power to say, I'm not going to carry the self-sabotage, and also with the moon in Scorpio, the way perhaps you've been so hard on yourself, torturing yourself, beating yourself up. This is the moon in Scorpio in its fall, where the baby perhaps has taken on the negative emotional imprints of the caretaker. Let's say mom was always depressed, or mom was always angry and in a rage, whatever it may have been for you. The way this week is connecting and tying together is that we have Chiron retrograde in Aries now, which is healing issues connected to just the way you look, your physical body. Then we go into second quarter moon at 2 degrees Scorpio. That's an early degree of the moon in its fall in Scorpio, which is the releasing, the death, let's say, because Scorpio has a lot to do with death and rebirth, the death of the way you've been so hard on yourself because of the beliefs and the emotional imprints that came from the caretaker, mom, or whoever the primary caretaker is or was. So now the sun in Leo, which is about the creative expression of your self-worth, your self-esteem, how valuable, one of a kind, never to be repeated you that you are. And the sun in Leo has to express. That's what it does. It's function. And with the second quarter moon, meaning the moon square the sun, the moon in Scorpio, this is to fully express or move towards whatever that expression or light you shine is for you. The moon in its fall in Scorpio is, this is the end, this is the death to the negative emotions that you have been carrying, especially with the way you beat yourself up. That's the moon in Scorpio, ruled by Mars. Mars, it rules over weapons in astrology. So the way you attack yourself, and you feel it in the stomach, and you feel it in the emotional body. The moon has a lot to do with food, third chakra, the stomach. So you feel it in the moon emotional body, especially around the areas having to do with food and dietary matters, because that is also what the moon rules over in astrology. Wednesday, July 26, we still have the moon in Scorpio making an opposition aspect to Jupiter in Taurus. Now, Scorpio and Taurus are the money signs, but also Scorpio and Taurus are the signs that have to do with Taurus taking in. Taurus rules the throat. So what you take in, what you literally put in your mouth, this is Taurus. Scorpio is the other end, what you eliminate. Scorpio has to do with literally releasing what you've taken in. So this moon opposition Jupiter, this is a big release, because an opposition is a separation. So the moon in Scorpio opposing Jupiter in Taurus is the releasing of not only what you've taken in, but Taurus rules over the throat. The releasing, and a part of this healing week, is to know the power of what you say and how you say it. Taurus, ruled by Venus, is, do I say something with love? Do I say something to try to elevate or empower and lift up? Do I say loving things? Or the other end, which is Scorpio, is, do I speak with that negativity? Moon in Scorpio, the moods, the rage, the attacking. So this opposition aspect, and especially in the area of money, because Scorpio and Taurus are the money signs. Taurus is, I have, this is mine, my money. Scorpio is, we have, merged money, inheritance, taxes, collaborations, crypto, Bitcoin, all of that stuff. So when you get into it over money and that power struggle over money, just how bad does it get? You may want to take a look at this with this moon in Scorpio opposition Jupiter in Taurus, because the moon is acquisition. Jupiter, the job of Jupiter is to increase things. When it's in Taurus, to increase the money, the safety, the goods, the securities, the investments. So just how bad or positively does it get when it comes to issues of money? And the moon is the past. So what is the old programming, perhaps, that you're still stuck in when it comes to the moon memories? Also the fear that we won't have enough. I won't have enough. The money's going to go away. So look out for this on July 26th, and how you're handling the way you use your power, especially with what you say, because Taurus rules over the throat. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm just highlighting the astrology. We're all doing this work, or at least trying to do the work. Now, speaking of the word and how we use the word, on Thursday, July 27th, we have Mercury in Leo making a conjunction to Venus retrograde in Leo. Now, Mercury conjunct Venus in Leo. So, think of the most charming person, the best salesperson that you've ever known, that is so smooth and so seductive with their words and so charming. Because on this Thursday, Jupiter's day, Mercury and Venus come together in Leo, and Venus is retrograde in Leo. You really want to be aware always, but today on the 27th, when someone just tries to charm you back, because this is an extremely persuasive cosmic superpower where you know you shouldn't, but that Mercury-Venus conjunction, beautiful voice, power of persuasion, they want you back. Be careful. It's all right there written in the stars that someone can really know how to use their seductive powers to woo you back. Think it through. Venus retrograde in Leo. Also, along with that, as if that wasn't enough, the moon is still in Scorpio, making a water trine flow to Neptune in Pisces. So the moon in Scorpio is in its fall, and the Neptune in Pisces is dreamy, it's imagination, it's the vision. All of this water is so romantic, and so these two aspects so close together is the ability to have someone play on your emotions, that's the water, and charm you back into an addictive emotional relationship or into an addiction. Neptune in Pisces. Remember, we also have Saturn retrograde in Pisces now, which is the addictive patterns, whatever that may be for you. The addictive patterns, it's time for that to stop now. It has to stop now. Later on in the afternoon, we're still on July 27th, the moon goes into Jupiter-ruled happy-go-lucky Sagittarius, mutable fire. And the moon in Sagittarius is what we need. And the moon in Sag, ruled by Jupiter, is the need for excitement, adventure, to do something new, to expand on the consciousness and the philosophy of life, because Sagittarius is the philosopher. Also, Sagittarius is the sign of honesty, the truth. And so this moon in Sagittarius, which will be making and applying fire trine flow to the sun in Leo, moon trine the sun in fire on Friday, Venus's day, July 28th. That is just a beautiful fire light between the heart and the head, the masculine, the feminine, the inner and the outer, where it all lines up, and the answer is yes. So take that adventure, do that new thing you've been dreaming about, go learn something new. In the area of Sagittarius, that has to do with not only adventure, but foreign countries, different cultures. Sagittarius, it likes to discover, loves to explore. So you could make a point with this moon trine the sun in fire to meet different kinds of people and cultures. It's not like you have to go across the world if you can't do that for whatever reason right now. But learn something new about what is foreign to you, because Sagittarius rules over the foreign, long distance travel. So perhaps you've never gone to a different kind of restaurant or a neighborhood. Learn a different culture as if you're going to a foreign place. This moon in Sagittarius loves that, and it is so supported with the sun in Leo. So this fire trine flow is the excitement, the happiness. It's also the generosity, the giving from the heart, as far as connecting with something that is foreign, different culture, different language to you. And this is for Friday, Venus's day. Then also on Friday the 28th, Mercury enters the sublime placement of Mercury enters Virgo. When Mercury goes into Virgo, Mercury is at home in its domicile and its exaltation. So when Mercury is in Virgo, which is such a powerful placement to think clearly, to look at all the details. Mercury in Virgo is so sharp. It's so intelligent. Looking at the facts, the science, the legal matters. Beautiful, beautiful placement for Mercury to enter its home and exaltation sign of Virgo. And Mercury just moved so fast through Leo. But now Mercury is at home and exalted in Virgo. Make the most of it. Looking at different contracts and details and writing something. Everything that Mercury rules over. Even if you can't travel right now, making the plans, doing the research, looking over the scheduling and the itinerary. This is all wonderful for Mercury in Virgo as well. Saturday, July 29th, as we close out the week on Saturn's day, we still have the moon in Sagittarius during the day, and the moon in Sag makes a fire trine flow to Venus in Leo, retrograde. I'll probably say that every time I mention Venus until Venus stations direct. The moon trine Venus is the awareness and the acknowledgement to yourself how much you need, how much we need love. The moon in Sagittarius trine Venus retrograde in Leo is not only the need for an honest love, moon in Sagittarius, but it's also the need for how much friendship, being friends, we like each other, how much you need that in a relationship. Because when it comes to Sagittarius, every sign has a different signature of what they want in a relationship. And when it comes to Sagittarius, the moon in Sagittarius, as we're closing out the week with the Venus retrograde in Leo, which is also a lot of rethinking about the right kind of relationship for you. And the right kind of relationship for every person, it means different things to different people, different needs. But with the moon in Sag trying Venus in Leo, this is a great need for friendship in the relationship. It's a great need for adventure in the relationship. A great need for trust in the relationship. Because Sagittarius is all about the honesty. In relationship, the moon in Sag making that trine to Venus retrograde in Leo can be a reminder of where there was no trust, where there was betrayal in love, but also the reflection of the Venus retrograde in Leo with this trine with the moon is also the reflection and the reminder how what is essential in the relationship in love is to be trusted. When we look at Sag is freedom and adventure and traveling around. This whole jealousy thing doesn't fly with the sign of Sagittarius. So as we close out the week on Saturn's day, and Saturn's day, Saturday, is about get real. This is what Saturn in Capricorn does. Put your feet on the ground and get real. Which is, this is what I really need day by day in a love that works for you. Again, it's different things to different people. But this moon trine Venus, as we're closing out the week, is a reminder of how much trust is necessary or needed in the love relationship. Then later on in the evening, the moon goes into her detriment. The moon enters Capricorn, which is the moon's exile, the furthest away from its home placement with the moon in the sign of Cancer. So when you are in exile with the moon in Capricorn, you're banished from the kingdom, let's say, or from the castle. That going out into exile is a place of where all the distractions are taken away, all the outside noise, distractions are removed, and you have to just sit with yourself and really get in touch with what you need in a relationship, or else you will feel lost in the relationship, banished from the kingdom, and needs to get in touch with the truth of what is needed in the relationship, or else you're lost. And if you're not connected to your emotional body, you are lost. You are lost. You're disconnected from self, your feelings, your needs, all of it. So when you're connected to your emotional body, which is the moon, you're home. You can be any place on the globe, and you're home. You're in touch with yourself. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's more about the exile of the need to get in touch why you are not in touch with your needs and your emotional body, so you can be home and fulfill the needs of the moon. So this is our fabulous week this week, as the energy and power is building to that full moon coming up, and also all of the healing. That is just a wonderful journey, and we're all working towards that, or at least trying to in this journey and connection with the cosmos. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. I will see you all in the stars. Thank you.